varying his times.
This one tapped back to the mound. Duran plants on target. Ball game over, and the Twins hang on.
So the Royals lose 3 out of 4 to the Twins, and so obviously the Royals have no chance of making the playoffs now that they lost 3 out of 4 after winning 8 in a row. That is the ebb and flow of the Major League Baseball season. Marathon, not a sprint. Welcome to the Sports Ticket, brought to you by Kiefer Brothers Automotive in Beloit. Your home for fast, friendly auto repair. They have the 15-minute no-wrench inspection. They can fix everything, extended warranties, tires, and oh yeah, it's going to get hot. So they can help you with your air conditioning if you have any issues, or get that all checked on your vehicles. Boys in Blue, we're trying to split a 4-game set with the Twins yesterday afternoon, and the bad news is their regular scheduled starter, Brady Singer, was scratched because of illness. So Daniel Lynch got the start, did okay. Royals actually had the lead midway through the game, but then Lynch gave up home runs to Ryan Jefferson back-to-back innings. And the Twins cut the lead to 4-3 after the Royals had a nice healthy lead early thanks to a solo homer from MJ Melendez, RBI double from Bobby Witt Jr. But then Chris Stratton just didn't have it out of the bullpen. 4 runs in the 6th for the Twins against Stratton. Bobby Witt Jr., a 2-run single in the 9th. He was recently named the American League Player of the Week, by the way, first time in his career. But the Royals fall just short, 7-6 to final. Royals are 35-23 after losing 3 of 4 to the Twins. Matt Guerrero, manager of the Royals, on the struggles of his reliever, Chris Stratton, in yesterday's game.
Stratton pitches to the corners, and today just missed a little bit, and the walks hurt us a little bit that inning. We have to get outs. I mean, we have confidence in Stratton. When he's in the zone, he gets outs.
But he didn't yesterday, and the Royals lose 7-6. They'll start a 3-game series with the Padres tonight at 7:10. Padres are 30-29. Michael Wacha will pitch against his former team. He came over from the Padres during the offseason as a free agent, and he's 4-5, ERA 4.31. Here's a pretty cool stat. It's a cool stat because it's positive this year. Pretty sad reflecting on last year. Seth Lugo has more wins, 9, than any Royals pitcher had last year. The entire year.
Yeah.
And we aren't into June yet. So that's pretty impressive. All right, Dusty, Athlete of the Week. We're gonna go young with a freshman.
Yeah, and what an outstanding freshman season Madison Howland of Smith Center has had. It started way back in the fall when she won the state cross country championship in Class 2A, and it never slowed down here in the track season. In the spring, Smith Center freshman Madison Howland, our NCKSports.com Cunningham Fiber Athlete of the Week. Again, finishing the incredible freshman campaign by winning 4 medals at the Acacia State Track and Field Championships in Wichita this past weekend. 3 individually, claiming the state title in the 2A girls 3,200-meter run with a PR and Smith Center school record time of 10:58.26. Also had a season-best time in winning a state championship in the 1,600-meter run at 5:12.50, and her time of 2:18.29 in the 800-meter run was also a season best, and was good enough to get second place in 2A at state. She was also part of the 4x800-meter relay team for Smith Center that placed 8th there on Saturday in Wichita. So, again, 4 medals there for Howland for the season. She took the gold in every single meet in the 1,600 and 3,200-meter run, and between those races compiling 20 gold medals. She also got 2 gold medals in the 800-meter run, took the 2A regional titles in all 3 of those events in Hill City on May 16th. She added to her 22 individual golds with 3 gold medals in the 4x8, helping that 4x8 team to 3 first-place finishes, so a total of 25 gold medals on the track this season for Madison Howland. The top time for that 4x8 was a 10:19.25 first-place performance at the Beloit Relays on April 25th. Overall, Howland did earn 29 medals this spring, getting a couple medals, again, with the 800, or 1 other medal with the 800, and 3 other medals with the 4x8. So, again, an outstanding freshman season, an outstanding weekend at the Acacia State Track and Field Championships for Smith Center freshman Madison Howland, the NCKSports.com Cunningham Fiber Athlete of the Week. And you can read more at NCKSports.com. One other local sports note we do want to tell you about: the Twin Valley Conference and Northern Plains League will be having their annual State Line All-Star Basketball games on Saturday at Lawrence-Nelson High School in Nebraska. Multiple area athletes will represent the MPL. Girls game, Lauren Brummett of Lakeside, Aubrey Gingler, Jenna Gingler of St. John's Tipton, Cameron Richke of Thunder Ridge, Emma Finkenbinder of Sylvan Lucas, Bentley Smith and Jasmine Fenn from Lincoln, and Raylan Bolte, Reese Douglas of Pike Valley were selected to play in the game. And on the boys' side, Johnny Hamel, Nathan Goheen, and Doak Guttery of Osborne. Lakeside's Jordan Schoen and Ian Racine. Jacob Winkler of St. John's Tipton, Dante Peterson from Southern Cloud, and Elijah Field of Pike Valley will represent the MPL. So that'll be coming up tomorrow. Girls game at 3 o'clock, and the boys to follow in Nelson starting tomorrow afternoon. I'm trying to have those rosters posted here at some point today at nccastsports.com if you missed it. So, again, that'll be your home for high school sports here in North Central Kansas, nccastsports.com.
All right, coming up in 30 seconds, we'll tell you who the Celtics play in the NBA Finals beginning on Thursday, June the 6th.
Does your vehicle have a leak, squeak, or rattle? Is there an annoying warning light shining at you from the dash? I'm Elijah at Keever Brothers Automotive in Beloit. If you have an automotive issue, don't just live with it because you're afraid of what it might cost to get it fixed. We offer a 15-minute no-wrench inspection for free, so you can get a professional opinion about your problem without spending a dime. Call or stop by today. We're happy to take a look at almost anything for free. That's Keever Brothers Automotive just south of the courthouse in Beloit and online at KeeverBrothers.com.
The inbound will come 5 seconds away. Here it goes. The Western Conference champions are the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to the NBA Finals. They'll take on the Boston Celtics.
I have to admit, Dusty, in my final days here at the radio station, I have to take my wins when I can get them. I want to pat myself on the back, but I don't stretch well enough to pat myself on the back, so I want to pat myself on the shoulder. I did finally nail a prediction. Nailed this one. I even said, I think the T-Wolves are happy they didn't get swept. Boy, that sure as hell looked accurate last night.
Yeah.
Because, and I also said Kyrie and Luka are going to play much better than they did in Game 4. Yeah, they did. And the T-Wolves look like, whew, we dodged the sweep, we're good to go. I mean, this was a pathetic performance by the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
When your season's on the line, back in front of your hometown crowd. And I also said the T-Wolves haven't played well at home in the playoffs. All of that rang true last night. So I want to get paid millions of dollars by these talking head institutions, ESPN and Fox, because I would be willing to bet I was way more correct about this one last night than any of those guys were. 69-40, the Mavs led at halftime. It was so bad that Ernie Johnson said that the Mavericks opened up a can of whoop-ass on him. Ernie Johnson said that, and he's not usually critical at all. And I said Luka and Kyrie would play much better. Last night, they combined to go 10 of 20 from 3. They each had 36 points. Luka had a double-double. Luka averaged 32 points per game in the series. He's named the Western Conference Finals MVP. He scored 20 points in the first quarter, set the tone, hit 8 of his first 10 shots. Doncic and Irving each made 14 field goals, shot a combined 28 of 49. And I also mentioned last night, Derek Lively is a important piece of the puzzle. He did not play Game 4. He would be back last night. He had 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 24 minutes after missing Game 4 with a neck injury. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns played fairly well last night in regards offensively, not defensively. He and Edwards filled up the stat sheet with meaningless 28 apiece. And the Mavericks move on to the finals for the first time since 2001. They'll take on the Celtics on Thursday, June the 6th. So they'll have a week off. Celtics will have 10 days off. We'll see how rusty, how fresh, how good it's going to be when they play each other. And if you're wondering about the regular season, not that that means anything per se, but if you're curious, Celtics and the Mavs played twice this year. Do you know who won both games?
I'll say Dallas.
That's a silly guess. The Celtics.
I just figured
the Celtics are 64-18.
I just figured it'd be like you were asking that because
Okay. Right.
Dallas won both, even though the Celtics were way better.
Sometimes I make you overthink.
Yeah.
Now that one, when they're 64-18, I would always probably say Boston 2-0. But I see what you're trying to do there. You're like, Wade's trying to trick me on this one. No, I'm not. Not this time. But I always try to keep you on your toes. Celtics and Mavericks. Kyrie against his former team, the Celtics, and that marriage did not end well. When he left Boston, set Boston back a little bit. And then Porzingis may be able to go in NBA Finals. I think he will. I mean, 10-day layoff. They said he's close.
You'd think.
That's huge for the Celtics if he can play well. And he's a former Maverick. So there's some subplots to this whole thing. And in regards to the 4 teams that were left in the conference finals, this is the best possible scenario for the TV executives.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Dallas, a pretty good-sized market. The Mavs with 2 star guards. And you've got the Celtics, of course, who's trying to win an 18th title.
Yeah.
Who you picking? I'm taking the Mavs.
I'm picking Boston.
I'm taking the Mavs.
I picked them this far, and I think that they're just the better team. I know the matchup's going to be a little bit different, but if Porzingis can play, I think that's going to help.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If he is indeed healthy, I'm picking the Celtics in 6.
I think the Mavericks win in 7, and Kyrie breaks Boston's heart. And Luka, and it's a tough matchup for the Celtics with Luka and Kyrie, and the bigs for Dallas are playing great. Gafford and Lively. The Celtics are so up and down, despite, I say up and down, they're 64-18, but if you watch them play, they're so up and down within games. I mean, they'll have a stretch where they look bad, and then they'll just be outstanding. And I do agree with you that Porzingis is I wouldn't say he's 100%, but if he can play really well, he does change the dynamics of what the Celtics can do. But to me, the Mavericks are way better defensively than they were in the regular season. The Celtics are one of the best defensive teams in the league. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have to set the tone. One of the key points of this series, I think, that many people will probably overlook a little bit, and I keep bringing up this guy's name because he is a winner, is Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday will more than likely, I would imagine, is going to guard Kyrie Irving. Or he might even guard Doncic at times. Drew Holiday could absolutely be the X factor in this series. We talk about Porzingis. We talk about the stars for the Mavericks, Doncic and Irving. If you look at the supporting cast, Boston has the better supporting cast. Holiday is an outstanding player. Porzingis, if he's able to go. Al Horford. The Celtics do have...
White has popped off in a lot of games.
He has. That's a good point. And he's a starting guard now for the team. The Celtics have more... I don't want to say have more depth, but they have the better supporting cast. They have more guys that can pop off against you. And because, like you just said, Derek White's had a game where he had, I think, 8 threes, and he had 30 points in the game. And Horford had 7 threes recently in a game. And we know Tatum and Brown can go nuts, and Porzingis is capable, and Drew Holiday can score you 20. Celtics do have more offensive weaponry than the Mavs do, because the P.J. Washington, he's got to play well. Derek Jones has got to play well, and they've been a little up and down. Lively's been great off the bench. Gafford's played well. But if you can take away Luka or Kyrie and take half of the head of the two-headed snake that is the Mavericks, then I would agree with you that the Celtics should win the series. And I will say this, the Celtics should win the series. On paper, the Celtics are the better team. The Celtics should win the series, and I would agree with you that they should win it in 6, maybe 5. They're the better team on paper. There is going to be a tremendous amount of pressure on them because they are the favorite. And they have not played a team like the Mavericks, not even close to that so far during this playoff run. No fault of their own. It is what it is. I think Porzingis is huge. And, of course, if somebody turns an ankle, that could change the whole series. But I don't know, man. Something in my gut is telling me, and I know the Celtics are like, well, they were there a couple years ago. They've learned from their experiences, so forth and so on. But I've seen the Mavericks, I think, play more consistently in the playoffs. And that sounds crazy because the Celtics are 12-2. But the Mavericks had a way tougher road to this spot. I mean, the Mavericks had to beat the Clippers, and they caught a break when Kawhi got hurt, but you still got 2 superstars you're playing against, and they won that series. And then they played the Thunder, the number 1 seed, and they beat the Thunder, who are the best team in the West this year with their record. And then they just absolutely destroyed the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, and they won the other 3 games because they have clutch guys, and the T-Wolves just knocked out the defending champion Nuggets. So the Mavericks are more battle-tested in the playoffs. Now, 2 ways of looking at it. 1, Mavericks might be worn down because of that. Or 2, the Celtics don't know what's about to hit them. And I don't worry about regular season. Celtics won 2 games and none because you don't know load management and whatever. And they aren't playing to win. Their season's not on the line. Celtics are not the greatest team at home in the playoffs. It's been that way for the last 3 years. And the Celtics have 10 days off. The Mavericks are going to have a week off. And I know every game is important, but the best game to win in a NBA Finals series, or the best game to win in any best-of-7 series, is what game?
5.
Game 1. Game one is the one you can steal. When you're that game sets a tone. If you go in Dallas and just go win game 1, all of a sudden people talk about how Boston's got in trouble. The pressure is more on Boston to start with.
Sure.
They lose at game 1 after 10 days off, and they can claim, they're rusty, this and that. The best game to get if you are the underdog, the best game to go grab if you're the underdog, and especially if you're going on the road, is steal game 1.
Yeah,
because all of that work that the Celtics had all year long, 64-18, the reason they have home court advantage is because all the work they did over the last 6 months, it goes poof. It goes flush down the toilet if Dallas takes game 1. It's immediately gone. Now, here's a crazy stat. Jason Kidd's never won a game 1 in a playoff series. But, Kyrie had never lost a closeout game until game 4 against the T-Wolves. So all streaks must come to an end. But game 1 is huge and important. Yes, then game 2 is huge, and then game 3 is huge, and then game 5 is huge, and then game 7 is huge. They're all huge. But if you're the underdog and you can go in and steal game 1, man, that puts a lot of pressure on the favorite. And the Celtics, trust me, the media that surrounds Boston is way more pressure-filled than the media in Dallas. And Boston was a favorite all year. They've been the best team all year, number 1 seed. They were the best team in the East by like 14 games or something crazy like that. The Mavericks kind of feel like maybe they're playing a little bit with house money. But Kyrie has won a title. Tatum and Brown have not won a title. Al Horford's never won a title.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Holiday has. Okay, but Kyrie has. And it's going to be very interesting to see how well Kyrie plays in this series. Maybe he'll try too hard and have a tough series, and people will be like, aha, Boston got the last laugh. But something tells me, and I could be dead wrong, and maybe I should quit predicting things after nailing everything last night. But something tells me that the Mavericks, they're just a different team during the regular season. They're hot at the right time. They've got their mojo going. Doncic getting a week off is huge. I mean, look how well he's playing now, and he's not even close to 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say the Mavericks get her done. So it doesn't add up when you look at the team's body of work. It doesn't add up to say the Mavericks go win the series when you look at position by position. And as I just said, Boston has the better supporting cast, and I think Boston's the most talented team in the league. But that doesn't mean you win a title. And so, game 1. Listen, I'm going to feel pretty darn confident on my prediction if Dallas wins game 1. If they don't, I mean, like, okay, well, they still can do it. So I got the Mavericks in 7. You got the Celtics in 6. I just hope it's a great series. And quite honestly, I really don't care who wins it. Really don't. I mean, Boston's had their share. Mavericks have won a title back in 11 with Dirk Nowitzki. I would have much rather seen the Pacers and T-Wolves get there. Pacers never won an NBA title, neither have the T-Wolves. They've never been in the NBA Finals. The Thunder, I wanted them to get there. So I really have no dog in the fight other than, I guess, I'll cheer for the Mavs to, hopefully go brag that I'm really smart and I picked the Mavs to win. But Boston wins, great, good for them. They're the best team all year long. If the Mavs win, great. And then Kyrie and Luka can then go around and say we are one of the best backcourts of all time, which I would not argue with that if they go win a ring. And Kyrie Irving, he said it very well the other day. He's been ripped over the years and various things he's done. We've said some things about him on the show here too. But Kyrie has learned how to be second fiddle, 1B. Him and Luka have worked very well together. I didn't think it would work. I was wrong. And Kyrie has bought in to play more defense. So is Luka. And they're close to winning a title. But Kyrie said when he heard all this talk about and Stan Van Gundy and Reggie Miller about this is the best backcourt ever assembled in NBA history, Kyrie's like, with all due respect, that's nice and all, but there's really no need to talk about this until we get a ring. You look at some of the best backcourts ever, and the one that pops in my head immediately is Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. They won multiple rings.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie and Luka, to be considered the best backcourt of all time, I definitely think they have to win a ring. And I think it's still debatable. But, man, they are super talented. There's no doubt about it. But they have worked together. They can hand off the baton, who to take charge in the fourth quarter. And I think that's something to really watch in this series is they keep talking about how Luka and Kyrie are the best closers in the game. And they close pretty well in the playoffs so far. I don't think Jason Tatum is a great closer. I don't think Jaylen Brown is a great closer. In fact, I would argue they settle for threes when they're in situations to close. Now, I think they're growing into that. I think they're better equipped, more experienced. They learned from their mistakes a few years ago when they lost to the Warriors in 6 when they were in command of that series 2-1. But if you have to go off of you've always said, I'll believe it when I see it, or you got to prove it to me, right? Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have not proven that they're going to come up smelling like a rose in crunch time in the final minutes of games. They have not. Now, sure, they've done it from time to time in regular season games, maybe a playoff game, but we're talking about your season's on the line. The Celtics haven't even been close to being on the brink of elimination yet. Not even close. No. So they haven't had that pressure yet. Okay? The Mavericks, I think, will push them into situations where they got to feel they have to win. Whether the Mavericks are up 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, 2-0, 3-1, whatever it might be. And Luka and Kyrie have proven in their careers, and Luka's career is not as long, but they've proven that they can shut the door in the final minute or two. So while we can diagnose this whole matchup and say, well, the Celtics have the deeper roster, the Celtics have more talent, the Celtics have a better supporting cast, I think the same thing that Kenny Smith was talking about and Charles Barkley talked about in regards to the T-Wolves playing the Mavericks applies to the Celtics as well. And that is what they said. The T-Wolves, when they have a lead, they have to maintain it to where they're still up 10 with 2 minutes to go, not up 10 with 7 to go, and then up 3 with 2 minutes to go. Mm-hmm. Because the final 2 minutes, more than likely, advantage Mavericks and Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, usually. So if you're the Celtics, I think the same thing applies. You have a lead. You bet. Listen, every game in this series, if it comes down to the final 1-2 minutes of the game, and it's a 1-possession game, 3 or 4 points even, a 2-possession game, you know who I'm putting my money on? I'm putting it on Luka, and I'm putting it on Kyrie. So for the Celtics to win the series based on that hypothesis, they better just go ahead and take care of business to where, all right, they're up 10 with 3 minutes to go, and Luka and Kyrie get it down to 4 or 5, but the Celtics had enough room for air to where they're able to hang on. Because I do think Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley are right on that accord, that if everything's even Steven in the final minute or two, advantage Dallas Mavericks. So if you are the deeper team, you are the better team, don't leave it to chance and allow the game to be that close with 2 minutes to go. Now, easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easier said than done. And, the Celtics didn't have games like that the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. They did. They kept their lead and extended on their lead, late in the game, but they weren't playing the Mavericks either, and I understand that.
And the Pacers, they came through with some close wins.
Yeah, there were some clutch shots in there.
The Pacers made gigantic mistakes in all of those games. Yeah. And the Mavericks aren't going to make those mistakes, in my opinion, off their experience they have.
Yeah, you wouldn't think. And so, there's a lot of things that go into this, and again, just a factor of a healthy Porzingis could change some of that too, like I said earlier. So there's so many different things that you could really look at here, but you don't really know until they get on the court and see who's playing and how they're, how those matchups actually look against each other when both teams are given 100%, right? And so that's the unique thing about the NBA playoffs is like we can sit here and analyze it all we want based on what we think we know about it, right? But it's like, what's going to happen in this situation with this specific person, right, that hasn't been here, or they've been here and they've not had the history of proving that they can do it, but now they are doing it, and so some of those things do change when it's this time of year and the focus is different for these teams as they get into the NBA Finals. So that's why I always watch all the finals games, is because it's like this is the best of the best. It's supposed to be, and these teams are focused right now. NBA regular season, these teams are not focused. Sometimes in the first round, if you know you're way better than a team, you're not really that focused. And so Western Conference playoffs have not been the case this year. They've been pretty focused. I think everybody has been because the parity that we saw there. But it's going to be fun to watch. I think should be a good matchup. I don't want either team to win because Boston has too many wins, and I definitely don't want Dallas to win as a Spurs fan. So if I had to pick somebody that I did want to win, I'd say Boston, even though they do have all the titles.
Because I think them and the Lakers are tied with 17 after the Lakers got one in the bubble. So Boston would be back on top if they can get their 18th, and obviously that would help the legacy of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in particular, and then they would knock off a guy that kind of set the program back a little bit when Kyrie went, because the Celtics, I thought, got impatient and went and got Kyrie Irving, set him back, but they were able to regroup from that, much like the Suns and the Bucks are setting themselves backwards, and they might not recover from it. So it'll be an interesting series. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a highly competitive. I think it'll be a tight series. And as you said, we can break it down all you want. If P.J. Washington goes out and plays great for 6 games and hits wide open threes, that's not something you count on. But he has been pretty good in the playoffs. This last series, not so great. And they still beat the T-Wolves in 5. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to the NBA Finals for once. Some years I'm not looking forward to it. I don't think it'll be that good. I think this one will be pretty good. NFL win totals, okay? So it's never too early to talk NFL. And by the way, do you know where the Chiefs are today?
I don't.
Wow, you're not much of a Chiefs fan. Wearing a Chiefs shirt. Poser. Take a guess where the Chiefs are today. Come on now.
Aren't they at OTAs? I thought.
No. Not even close.
Are they at the White House?
Hey, there you go. Good job.
That's the only other place they would want to be, I think, this time of year.
It's a place called the White House. Anybody hear of it? Yeah, but see, the Chiefs are like regular residents of the White House.
I don't pay attention to that because I just don't pay attention to a lot of that.
Well, I'm going to, full disclosure, I ain't going to lie, Dusty. I found out about 2 hours ago, so I didn't know either. I knew it was coming up, but I didn't know when. But supposedly today. So we'll see if Travis Kelce rips the mic out of Joe Biden's hands and just goes off on some kind of rap or promotes his podcast. I don't know what's going to happen, but the Chiefs making their regular stop once a year now. People are not Chiefs fans like, stop it, you cocky you-know-whats. 2 titles in a row, 3 here recently. So they are going to be at the White House and get their flowers. So congrats on that.
Yeah, do it. Do they take a jersey to them every year?
Yeah.
Joe's got three Chiefs jerseys now, doesn't he?
I think they've got different jerseys for Joe. I think he had 15, 87, and this year 69. I just don't know what. Maybe 62. I don't. Maybe he's going to get the Donovan Smith 74 jersey that's highly coveted by everybody. I do. Oh wait, that's Jawan Taylor, isn't it? Oh yeah, Donovan Smith 79. Whatever. They're all the same. But yeah. That's where they are today. So they've got the over-unders on wins for various teams, and I'm going to skip over. Oh, okay. Why in the world did they just put a few of them there? Let me see here. Oh, they just skipped to different divisions. All right. So let's go ahead, and we'll just focus on the AFC. We're not going to worry about the NFC. Sorry, NFC fans. All right. Win totals without looking at the schedules. This is just fun, man. It's May, and if you're sick of baseball and basketball and all you are is a football junkie, then you must love what we're about to talk about. The AFC East win totals. Now, remember, they play 17 games, and who knows in the near future, if there's a new CBA, there may be 18. Let's start in AFC East with the Buffalo Bills. Traded Stephon Diggs, and they've got some, marquee players that they've kind of got rid of, but yet they still have talent. And I think that's when people start writing teams off, saying they're not a contender anymore, that gets my attention because I'm more likely to lean and gravitate towards that's a team I would be looking at to do some damage because people suddenly write them off. Because if you have Josh Allen, you still have a good team. The over-under for the Buffalo Bills is 10.5. Would you take over or under the Bills at 10.5?
I'll take over.
Okay. I think most people would take under.
I think they're going to go 11-6.
Okay. I'll go with that as well. The New York Jets, 9.5.
I just still don't buy it. I'm going under.
And Aaron Rodgers after a year off, I'm going under as well. The Dolphins is an interesting one, 9.5.
I think you got to go over on that.
I think so too. Agreed. The Patriots are 4.5.
I have no idea. I'm going to say
Drake May or Jacoby Brissett is probably going to be a starter, which is better than Mac Jones. I think it fits what they want to do. They have a new head coach. I think there's going to be some energy. I'm actually taking over 4.5.
5-12. They can do that.
Yeah. And of course, I keep thinking Belichick's there, but he's not. So that's the AFC East. Let's go to the AFC North, which was okay. Why doesn't it let me click on that? Okay,
I see like the team being more like amped up because Gerard Mayo is a young guy
absolutely.
too.
New infusion of energy. A fresh. I don't know, kind of a fresh locker room from that standpoint, and getting a chance to reprove yourself. I think the Patriots might surprise and win a few more than people think. Let's go to the AFC North. That division was absolutely bloody murder last year.
Yeah.
And if Joe Burrow didn't get hurt, who knows how much better it would have been. The Ravens, 11.5, over 11.5.
I'm going to say under.
I am too.
I think they're going to come back down to earth a little bit.
I think they're going to be 11-6, something like that. And if Burrow's healthy all year, that will affect the Ravens a little bit. The Bengals 10.5. I'm going over.
Yeah.
Even though they may not have T. Higgins, he forces his way out. I don't know. Steelers 8.5. Their quarterback's going to be Russell Wilson. Justin Fields is available. Kenny Pickett was shipped to Philadelphia to be a backup there. The Steelers always seem to overachieve. I'm taking over. If Mike Tomlin's the coach and he always has a winning record every year, I'm taking the Steelers to win 9 and be over.
Yeah, I'll
and I think his quarterback play, I know Russell Wilson's been ripped a lot, but he actually statistically had a decent year last year. And I think Mike Tomlin won't put him in situations where he's got to sling it all the time. He's got, I think, a decent defense in Pittsburgh. He's got a running game in Pittsburgh with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. And the other thing that I'll point out is that he gets the best out of his teams, and I think that Russell Wilson's better than Kenny Pickett. So that's an improvement. And even if Russell stinks, they put in Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields can bring more to the table than Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
So I got Steelers over. Cleveland Browns over 8.5. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So we got everybody having a winning record in the division again.
Yeah, and that obviously is based on how that went last year.
Deshaun Watson's old key to the Browns.
Yeah, for sure.
Jerry Jeudy's now with the Browns, so another weapon for the Browns offense. AFC South, over-under win totals. Texans 9.5. I'm over.
Yeah, I'll go over, yeah.
Jaguars 8.5. They fell apart late last year. At some point. So
I'm going to say over on the Jaguars.
Over? Okay, I'm with you. Colts 8.5. I got under.
I'm under on the Colts.
I'm under on them. Titans 6.5. Who's their coach now?
I don't even remember, to be completely honest.
I'll go over. I'll say they get 7.
6. I'll say under. I'll say they win 6.
You and I finally differentiate. And now we end with the AFC West. And if you want to play the NFC game, feel free to do it at home. Go to CBSSports.com, win-loss totals, over-unders, blah, blah, blah. All right, we'll leave the Chiefs for last. Let's go to the other inferior teams in the division. The Broncos. To Bo Nix or not to Bo Nix. That's their quarterback possibly now, more than likely. Broncos are 5.5. Over or under?
I'll say over.
Me too. Anybody that low, over. I'll say 6 and 11. Las Vegas Raiders 6.5. Gardner Minshew, will he beat out Aiden O'Connell? They got a couple of good tight ends, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer. They've got Devontae Adams. They got a new head coach for Normal now, Antonio Pierce. I'll say they get 7 and they are over.
Yeah, I'm going over too.
Los Angeles Chargers are 8.5. I'm surprised that's not higher because everybody else anoints them the new champion of the AFC West.
I think with Harbaugh, they're going to be over that. They can get to 9.
I could see them getting to 10.
Yeah.
And then the Chiefs are 11.5. Now, that's a high number. That's the biggest. Yeah, that's the biggest number. I think it is the biggest number for all AFC teams. Them and the Ravens.
Yeah, and
we went under on the Ravens.
It's definitely in the right spot.
It is.
Vegas knows what they're doing.
Yes.
I'm going to say they'll go 12-5. I'll say
we'll go over.
Yeah.
You know, people listen to this going, "Do you guys know what the word under means?" Because we have said over on every single one except I think one. But yeah, the NFC at some point, I guess at some point, it's not like you have to. Go under a certain amount of times or over on these. Let's just for fun, let's look at the NFC. So I lied. We'll play this. Eagles over 10.5. They're 11-6 last year.
Yeah.
They started 10-1. Jason Kelce no longer there.
I'm going to say they're going to go 10-7 this year for no apparent reason.
So under?
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you. Dallas over 10.5.
You don't fall in the trap, right? I
don't think it's a trap on this. The trap is when you say the Cowboys are a Super Bowl contender. That's the trap.
Yeah, I think they'll be over that.
I agree with that. The Giants over 6.5. Drew Lock's now. I didn't know Drew Lock's now with the Giants.
I don't even know what the Giants are doing. I'm going to say under.
Under 6.5? Okay. And then where did... Oh, yeah, they lost Saquon Barkley, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Philly, yeah.
Commanders... 6.5. Jaden Daniels is the new quarterback. Will he play right off the bat? I don't know. Added Austin Eckler. They drafted Ben Sinnott of Kansas State as a tight end. That's something to follow. I'm with you, the Giants under, but I'll take the Commanders over 6.5.
I'm going to take under on the Commanders, too.
Are you? Okay. Cliff Kingsbury's now coaching up Daniels. He'll be an OC, and he's a good OC, better than a head coach. Dan Quinn's the head coach. Dan Quinn was a very good head coach in Atlanta. The only problem was they blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, where he'd be a Super Bowl winning coach. I feel pretty confident Commanders will be over 6.5. Even with Jaden Daniels, if he ends up being the starter, I think he is very talented. I know rookie quarterbacks take their lumps, but I think Jaden Daniels could be similar to a C.J. Stroud from the standpoint that he's going to come in and play better than people expect. Now, I'm not saying he's going to have a C.J. Stroud type of year, because that is a tough division. It is with the Eagles and the Cowboys. And if you think the Eagles are going to come back a little bit, and the Giants aren't very good, well, then that gives the Commanders a chance to get more wins. Mm-hmm. So I'll go over on the Commanders. So that is the NFC East. NFC North, over unders. Let's see. Lions are over 10.5. I'm going under.
I'm going to go over.
I think people are drinking the Kool-Aid very heavily. I think they're going to pull back a little bit this year. I got under. Green Bay over 9.5. I got them over. I think Jordan Love is absolutely, I said this before last season, I think Jordan Love was, I called it before the season on this one. I got a lot of them wrong. But Jordan Love, I remember I even drafted him for fantasy football. He just didn't come around for me until it was a little too late.
Yeah.
When I'm losing 10 in a row in fantasy. But I remember saying I think Jordan Love is going to be a lot better than people think. And you know what? He ended up having a pretty damn good year.
Yeah, I'll pick the over on the Packers.
All right, I convinced him to do it. Perfect.
I was going to do it before he said all that.
Okay, all right. I thought you were waffling at first.
No.
The Bears over 8.5. Caleb Williams is now your quarterback. I got him. I think there's a lot of expectations. Caleb Williams is going to come and be amazing. And they got DJ Moore last offseason. Now they bring in the wide receiver from Washington, Odunsi, who's really, very good. DeAndre Swift's on the team. Keenan Allen that was traded for the Chargers to the Bears. And I think immediately people go, well, the Bears defense is good. Caleb Williams comes in, and all these weapons that they have. I don't know. Something tells me the Bears are going to be a disappointment this year.
I think the Bears are going 7-10 at best.
I'm going under. And then the Vikings, over or under 6.5. It's Sam Darnold who might be the starter. They drafted J.J. McCarthy. They lost Kirk Cousins. That one is, they've got some weapons. Can you get the ball to those weapons? They lost Daniel Hunter, their best defensive player. That's a tough one for me. That's a tough one. If they said 7.5, I would have been under. But they said 6.5. I'll say under.
I'm going to go over with Vikings.
All right. So that's interesting division, to be quite honest. I think it's kind of more open than people believe. Let's see, NFC North. Okay, so here we go again with me trying to
The South was the one that was already up.
Yeah, I know, but I've got to... It wouldn't let me click on where I was at. Oh, dang, pop-ups are so freaking annoying. All right, let's pull it back up here. Come on now. Yeah, see, it won't let me click on NFC South.
Yeah, you're already on the NFC South on that page.
I didn't click on NFC South.
That's just where it loaded. I promise if you scroll down on that page, all the NFC South teams will be there.
Why did they load it when I didn't click it?
I don't know.
No, there's NFC East. There's no NFC South.
Or maybe you got to scroll up. I don't know.
No.
Not there?
No. Oh, all right. We'll just end with that. Oh. Good job there, CBS Sports.
On that page, scroll down.
Okay, NFC South. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they can't let me click NFC West there. Atlanta Falcons over 9.5. Kirk Cousins is the quarterback now. They got some weapons.
Oh, man. I'm going to go under on the Falcons.
I'm with you there. Tampa Bay over 8.5.
I'm going to go over on
I'm with
Tampa.
You. New Orleans over 7.5. I'll say over.
Over, yeah.
Carolina over 5.5. That's something when they only won 1 or 2 games last year.
I'm going to say under still.
Still under 5.5?
I don't know if I buy the Panthers yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one, too, because that's such a low number. Yeah, I'll go under. What the heck. All right, let's see if we can get this to work again. Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, okay.
Maybe the NFC West hasn't been revealed yet.
I can't click on NFC West. Just say the Niners over and you're done. Perfect. All right, perfect. So that's kind of an early look at the NFL, the over-unders, and everything else. Hockey is winding down.
Reinhardt trying to move it. Panthers do a great job here. Rangers can't get it loose, and it's over. The Florida Panthers hold on.
Florida Panthers win last night, 3-2. They avoid overtime as the Rangers made a little run there late. They up 3-2 in the series are the Panthers. Game 6 will be Saturday night in Florida on the Panthers' home ice. Western Conference Finals, Oilers and Stars are tied 2 apiece. Game 5, 7:30 tonight in Dallas on TNT. Man, if you're a Dallas sports fan, you got to be pretty excited right now. Your Cowboys always suck when it really matters the most. So at least you have hockey and basketball.
Yeah.
Because the Stars...
Your baseball team just won a World Series.
And your baseball, yeah. The Cowboys are the worst franchise. They're America's team, but the worst franchise in Texas.
They are.
In Dallas.
Yeah. Definitely in the DFW. They are the worst.
Wouldn't that be something? Think about this for a second. You just mentioned this. Texas Rangers won the World Series. Wouldn't it be pretty amazing if the Dallas Stars won the Stanley Cup, the Rangers just won the World Series, and the Mavericks won NBA Finals, and people would be like, why are the Cowboys the most popular team here? They can't even get to the Super Bowl. They barely win a playoff game. Yeah, that'd be. You don't think that would really, really irritate Jerry Jones? Probably already does.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be hilarious. All right, we'll give you the 15 to 20 seconds of the French Open in case people even care around here. I don't have any idea if anybody around cares about tennis.
Only Dusty Donis, probably.
Well, then what's the point?
Novak Djokovic rolled another straight set win. There were no top 10 upsets in the men's side yesterday, but there were 2 or 3 9, 10, 11 seeds. Ostapenko, Kasatkina, and Danielle Collins, the 11 seed from the U.S., did get eliminated yesterday in the second round. It was a packed day. There were like 40 matches because of the rain the 2 days prior. They were only able to get the indoor matches in, basically. So today I'll slow down a little bit. Third round matches start today. RolandGarros.com for all the scores. There's 2 R's in Garros.
All right. I like it. That works. Sports Ticket brought to you by Kiefer Brothers Automotive and Bullet, your home for fast, friendly auto repair. So I mentioned yesterday that I will be leaving. My last day on the air more than likely will be towards the end of June. And since we ended early for once on this show, but we'll consider this as part of our show. Yesterday, we ran a little clip of Mike, and we're talking about pinup posters and Susan Day, because we had a Facebook trivia question back in 2009 about the Partridge Family, and he mentioned how good-looking Susan Day was, and then he talked about how smart she was, which I'm like, nobody cares how smart a person is that's up on a poster very often. Maybe Einstein was. I don't know. So this classic flashback to the past, WATERSIDE Wake Up, was when Dusty woke up and came in to join us. He was added to the conversation and the discussions about how important it is to be qualified other than how good you look on being posted on a wall. That's coming up in 12...
I don't even remember this. This will be interesting.
In 12 seconds, Wade, Dusty, and Mike, God rest Mike's soul, from December of 2009 about pinup posters.
State, regional, and national sports talk on your schedule. The Sports Ticket Podcast. Subscribe via Apple, Google, and TuneIn Podcasts or sunflowerstateradio.com.
These Angels. But, my sister, her cassette collection was Debbie Gibson, Tiffany. New Kids on the Block.
The Dirty Dancing soundtrack.
Dirty Dancing
right?
soundtrack. Thank you very much.
Right.
I had Miami Vice soundtrack.
I'm thinking of my sister too. The Dirty Dancing, the Paula Abdul.
Paula Abdul.
And then my older sister, not younger, but younger than my oldest sister, Krista. She always had like the No Doubt and stuff like that.
Right. Like my mom at 8-track, she had Anne Murray.
Yeah,
that's about all I could think of.
Hey, I have Anne Murray.
Yeah. Well. I'm sorry.
Listen, I'll admit I had a Britney Spears CD, but I did not pay for it. I got it for free. I was not going to pay for that.
If I were you, I wouldn't have admitted that I got it.
No, I'll admit that I had it. I don't have a problem with that.
Did you open it? Did you open it? And play
it was already open.
It was already.
So
it was a hand-me-down Britney Spears.
Yeah. I will admit that, I didn't pay for this one though. I got it with the magazine sales. I had a Mariah Carey CD, which Mariah Carey's got some good music.
Oh, no doubt.
And she's talented.
Yes, she is.
Vocally talented.
Mariah
Carey people think she's visually appealing.
She's visually appealing and vocally talented.
Mariah Carey could still put 20 pounds on and still sell something.
Yeah, because her music, no question.
Jessica Simpson couldn't.
No.
They wouldn't even put her on the Macy's commercials then.
Yeah, you're probably right. whatever. Right? Once again, I've never argued any of that. I'm just saying,
Listen,
you
that-
put Jessica Simpson picture next to Mariah Carey in their primes, they're both going up on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay? And Jessica's not going to get discriminated against because she doesn't sing as well as Mariah. Trust me. Trust me.
Yeah,
that won't happen.
Not on a 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old boy's wall.
No way.
No, it don't matter how she sings.
Doesn't matter. Mike is in a major minority. I can just see Mike in college. Hey, come in here, guys. Come in. Got a tough decision today. Should we put Susan Day up on the wall or Linda Ronstadt? Well, Linda Ronstadt did have a couple of hits a couple years ago. Susan Day was in the Partridge Family. I don't know which one we should put up. No, they both went up or they both didn't go up.
This is what I say. You got plenty of wall space. Put Susan right here and put Linda over here, and you're fine. You're
Let
ready
them face
to go.
off against one another.
Yeah.
I don't think Susan Day sang. I think she just mouthed it. I think they had somebody sing for
Susan Day.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica Simpson's done that before too.
Sure.
Well, that's probably better.
So is Ashley.
Ashley did that, not Jessica.
It was Ashley.
Okay.
Yeah, get them right.
Ashley's
I think
not talented at all.
Probably could benefit from that kind of strategy.
From lip syncing. Well, you could too. I've heard your singing.
Yes, I know.
You of all people talking about people singing. We've heard your birthday rendition.
Yeah, but
that was 7 seconds
I'm not
too
going
much.
up on anybody's wall.
You're darn right you're not. Although, there might be people going on our website, printing off a picture of you right there in that bio and putting you right up on the wall, Mike.
Yeah.
Could happen.
I tried.
It could be Tom Selleck, Mike Schrant, the mustache.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if anybody's got our headshots from off the website, they have some very low standards. That's all I'm saying. I will admit that for myself.
They may want to seek help. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's no argument there.
Oh, goodness gracious. So I've got to ask you now, what pictures were up on your wall then?
On my wall?
Yeah, on your wall.
The ones that my wife puts up.
No, not now. I mean, when you were in college.
When I was in college.
You said you weren't allowed when you were when I
was in high school. I'm trying to. That's such a long time ago. Criminally,
apparently they must not have been that good looking. If you don't remember the pictures on your wall.
Well,
I mean, for crying out loud, I had somebody text me right away and go, "Carol Alt was on my wall because of her smile." That was years ago. Unless it's still hanging in the. Wow, that'd be sad if it's still hanging up.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Linda Ronstadt, you said that.
Well, I think the only
Susan Day.
If I can remember right, I think the only poster I had. I mean, understand? I lived in college dormitory. There was plenty of literature that went around. I read lots of articles.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
If we're talking about college, I wish I still had a picture of my wall in college, but we'll go.
What was on your?
No,
wall?
go ahead and finish your story.
No, we care more about yours.
Yeah,
now.
No, it was the whole.
I think your wall was more exciting.
It was a whole. It wasn't just mine, but it was the whole dorm unit. We just tore out pictures from Maxim magazine and had them all
the way around
all
the
way
walls.
around. Like even in our regular room that you just walk into, it was all on the top row of the walls going all the way around.
The top women of Maxim.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a shrine.
Yeah.
Now, see, now be fair to the ladies that are listening out here, because obviously all three of us are guys.
Listen, I've been in my sister's dorm room.
The girls and the women might be worse about all the pictures they put up of the guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got, my sister, New Kids on the Block, Donnie Wahlberg and whoever else the other guys were, the lead singers. Wahlberg's, you remember, Mark Wahlberg. There's people that got those up in their walls, too. It's just not guys putting, I would be willing to bet you, women have more, when they were in school, especially in high school, I think, and even maybe younger, junior high, even sooner now, their heartthrobs are up on the wall. More so the women or the girls of the guys' pictures.
Yeah, the girls had all
your Matt Damons or whoever else you have up there, LL Cool J, whatever it may be. Whereas, us guys wasn't as common or as many pictures on the wall. Although it sounds like with you that was different.
In college it was, not in college.
The ladies of Maxim.
Junior high or high
Check
school.
out the shrine. $10 for parking. $5 ticket. Come check it out.
Did your mom not let you put any of those up when you were in high school?
No, she didn't care what I had on my wall as long as they were clothed.
As long as they had
That's pretty much,
that was a criterion at your house, huh?
Anyway, getting back to the important question. Well, so who was on your wall?
I think I just remember buying a poster. I think at the Emporium in Hutchinson. It wasn't anybody. It was a.
What? They didn't sing great or win a Grammy?
No.
They weren't an award-winning actress?
No.
How could you possibly put that person on your wall?
I'm sorry. because I was fascinated in the way the art design with it. That's as far as we're going to go.
I'm sure Mike had the article right below it and highlighted it. Yeah.
Well, no. This was an actual.
You can't even think of the person's name. You must have had a poor wall.
Well, they didn't put the person's name.
Well, there's a lot of
you had it. Wait a minute.
Hawaiian Tropic posters out there that really don't have names.
Well, that's true. I guess that's.
I think it'd be easier to explain this off the air.
maybe so. Maybe we should stop right there.
Yeah,
Do you still have it?
No.
You actually got rid of something, or you were forced to get rid of that?
I got rid of a lot of stuff when I got married. I bet you did too.
Does your vehicle have a leak, squeak, or rattle? Is there an annoying warning light shining at you from the dash? I'm Elijah at Keever Brothers Automotive in Beloit. If you have an automotive issue, don't just live with it because you're afraid of what it might cost to get it fixed. We offer a 15-minute no-wrench inspection for free, so you can get a professional opinion about your problem without spending a dime. Call or stop by today. We're happy to take a look at almost anything for free. That's Keever Brothers Automotive just south of the courthouse in Beloit and online at KeeverBrothers.com.